Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin doesn't really show any major motivation to bounce in wave 2, so it's continuing to be quite weak. As I explained in previous updates, the yellow wave count is still preferred. Okay, so I still prefer that we are in the yellow wave count, that we go more directly from here. Resistance is basically 28,020. And against that level I focus on lower. I prefer that we get a little bit of a bounce in wave 2. If we go more down directly, then we are already probably in some way in this third wave here. Okay, and we go down more directly. That means if we now break the last swing low, and if this wave 1 isn't over, then we are already deep in wave 3. Okay. I'm a little bit unclear then about the microstructure. It might then be just a diagonal, yeah, like this, 1, 2, and we're already in the third of a third and should then break down more directly, more aggressively. I don't find that unlikely. That's also reasonable, but it would need to break below the last swing low at 26,980 to basically get that move down accelerated, yeah. So I would rather say we focus on lower against that level. If we get into this region, then not a problem. You know, it would rather be better reward to risk ratio for a short trade. Again, at the moment, we're quite deep in support here, but can definitely extend further to the downside. I did mention in the last video, I don't trust this micro count for the simple reason that this wave 1 is a little bit too long to be reliable. Compare the length of this wave 1, which is the larger degree, with this one. It is shorter, but it's not actually short enough, okay? So that doesn't make it invalid, it just makes it a little bit unreliable. That means other scenarios need to be considered, like what I just showed you, that we're already in the third wave, which is part of our main thesis anyway. It's just part of the yellow wave count, would just be a different subdivision, and it wouldn't change resistance as well. So therefore, I don't want to call it out separately, not to confuse you. The white wave count, though, still has a chance. So, but I also don't trust the white wave count until we break above 28,020. So that would then take us to 30K probably in 5 waves. But I need to see evidence for that. So therefore, until I see more evidence for the white wave count, the yellow count is preferred. That should give you a very clear statement of where we should be heading. Well, where we should be heading, only the market decides, but I'm leaning towards the yellow wave count. I'm leaning towards further downside in the yellow count, and but I don't trust the microstructure necessarily because there are different options. Yeah, Bitcoin doesn't make its intentions very, very clear here. What I would just use as resistance is 28,018, and then if we come down and break below the overnight low, which I already called out here, then the next main support level is at 26K, and below that is 25,300. These are going to be the next targets that I'm watching, and then expect massive support down here. But to be honest, if we are in a third wave, or if we are in the C wave actually, which is the larger degree wave structure in which we're operating, that level should break, and we should get more into the region around 22 to 24K in the coming weeks and months. But don't be surprised if Bitcoin surprises, yeah, or don't let yourself be surprised. Just be ready for anything in this range. I mean, my preference is clear, I think. The preferred wave count is clear. The resistance is clear. The relevant support levels are clear. But this is still all within a range, and Bitcoin isn't coming down as it should really in an ideal world. The bears seem to be stronger again, but it doesn't really follow through as it should do either. So we just need to be on our toes. So this price action definitely keeps us on our toes. Ethereum follows through much better at the moment to the downside. Yeah, and there isn't much more to add, I think. I mean, maybe let's take a look at the daily chart, because I had a few messages, a few people lost track of the daily, but that hasn't actually changed. So that's still unchanged. Let's go to the daily chart here. And I understand, you know, if you're new and you're not watching the videos regularly or so, you might lose track. I can only recommend just watch them regularly. You don't need to watch every Bitcoin video, but obviously the market is evolving, and it all depends on the level of detail that you need. You also find some long-term outlook videos in our long-term video playlist. We're tracking an overall bullish scenario. The move up looks impulsive. Either a 1-2-1-2 setup, which would be even more bullish, or just one large 1 and one large 2. both possible. Support is down to 18K overall on the daily time frame, which means, in other words, that it takes a break below 18K to unlock new bear market lows. Until then, I would argue this overall bullish scenario has a chance and is preferred on the daily time frame. But within this scenario here, within this wave 2 correction, we are probably coming down in the C wave. And that's what I'm tracking on the lower time frame wave count. This is the B wave, okay, that you've just seen on the daily chart here. It's just obviously different wave degrees on the lower time frame chart and the larger daily chart. But this is basically what we see. And then we come down in the C wave. That would be preferred. 22K is definitely an ideal target. Here you can see it as well. Roughly the area between 22 and 24K should be the next target range. But yeah, and even if Bitcoin makes another high, it wouldn't necessarily be bullish, and wouldn't necessarily confirm that a lasting top is in place, okay? A lasting low is in place. So that B wave can even extend higher within, even if Bitcoin makes another high. So that means on the lower time frame, even if we consider this white wave count, which would allow for another high, it is not necessarily per se bullish. We can then consider at least a bullish scenario short term, okay? So it's all about understanding your time frame. On the daily time frame, we're tracking a bullish scenario. We assume the bear market low has been made. Only below 18K, we will have to open that door again, to new bear market lows. But at the same time, we don't see this correction as finished. So we still focus on lower until we see a reliable reversal signal, which can show now, but then I need to see 5 waves up and 3 waves down. Need to see evidence. Always let the market tell us what the setups are. Or, and that's currently the expectation, we go a little lower here into the region between 22 to 24K, where we are going to be watching for reversal signals. That's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. As a member, you get access to weekly live streams, tutorials and so on about Elliott Wave, and you get access to Telegram and Discord, the live chat groups and educational content. Plus, as a gold member, you get access to additional market updates. And last week we launched our stocks and S&P 500 service. If you're interested in daily video updates about the S&P 500 plus selected stocks, then check that out. You can find the link in the video description as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.